Biggest group of vendors we've ever had, and as you notice, we kind of overflowed to outside this year, and having a little bit of rain today, that just sort of brings everything together just when we need it most. And let's just hope it rains and rains and rains, and then turns off and gets absolutely beautiful for the rest of this weekend. This is the Organic Roundtable. Let me ask, how many of y'all have not been to one of these before? Okay, so we've got a lot of first-time people. We have assembled here some of the finest minds in the organic business, and if that's not a scary thought.
That's scary. Starts here and tapers off.
You know, some of these folks you read, some of you hear on the radio, watch on television, and I can tell you we're very privileged to have the group of people we have. We are expecting Stuart Franke, who owns Medina Agriculture, to join us. I suspect he left to go to lunch and had no idea of how bad San Antonio traffic is. When you're from Hondo, you know, you only go to a big city every now and then, and it's probably, we were a city of only 500,000 people last time he was here. No, I said it very jokingly, but hopefully he will be joining us. I see a couple of other luminaries here. If you all don't know Clayton Leonard standing in the back of the room, this is Manna's New Earth Soils and Compost that you hear us talk a lot about. In fact, we were just talking, John Dromgoole and Stuart and I, about this is really a gathering of friends. Some people would look around and say, well, gosh, all your competitors are here at the same deal. We all say, we don't have any competitors. We have a lot of friends that are in the same business. Our competitors are those guys that are out pushing poisons and all sorts of nasty things on you. And so we kind of try to present a united front against that. Now, the way that we do this is I'm going to give each of our panelists, I'll introduce them in just a second, but we'll give each of them a chance, and you guys have 30 seconds to think about this now. But I'm going to ask each one of them what they think the most significant things that have happened in the world of organics in the past year are since we did this last time. We will then kind of go through these cards and kind of categorize them, and we'll just kind of go through one by one. And I'll pick on somebody to lead us off on the answer to a specific question or topic, and then the rest of us will kind of chime in. We may not agree on everything, and that, you know, we're certainly not 100% in agreement on everything we do in the world of organics. We're probably closer than many groups are in things they talk about, but you're likely to get some diverse opinions. The one thing I can tell you about this group, now I don't know Judy well, this is a real pleasure having her here for the first time, but nobody on this group is afraid to express their opinion. And anybody who's ever been here, or anybody that's listened, nobody's shy here. We don't pull any punches. We don't mind telling it like it is. We don't mind talking about trade names. So you don't have to stick up your hand and say, well, I don't want to mention which fertilizer this is. Go ahead and mention it. If it's a chemical company, we'll all trash them together. If it's an organic company, we'll pick out the good things and the bad or whatever else. But we have a lot of fun in doing this. You all are, I think, among the smartest people in the world, since hopefully most of you all do lead not only an organic life in your garden, but hopefully an organic lifestyle, and that always comes up as well. The show I do is mainly gardening. The show that somebody like Bruce does is mainly organic living and environmental matters concerning the whole world. Then you get crossovers like John Dromgoole, who talks about everything. By the way, he has hosted the longest running organic radio show, not only in the United States, probably in the world. But we just have a lot of fun with this. If you have questions as we go along, if we're addressing a question and you don't think we've answered it fully, whether it's your question or someone else's, feel free to stick up your hand and comment or ask us to elaborate further. Because I'm sure we do have a lot of topics to cover, I may try to limit the discussion on any one topic to a reasonable amount of time, but we've got as much time as you all want to stay and do this, so we can talk about as much as anything as you want to. So, with no further ado, Mr. John Dromgoole owns Natural Gardener up in Austin. He's been on KLBJ for how many years, John? 28 years that he's been doing organics. Longer than I've been alive, of course, but you know. But John, of course, is here with one of his principal co-workers. Andy is out of the booth out there and has been showing you the great ladybug products all day long, and it's such a pleasure having both of them down here. Bruce Deuley, host of Organic Matters on KTSA Radio. That's about all I know to tell you about him, because he's done so many things. I take up all of our time telling you about all the things he does in life. Let me just put it this way. If anybody's in need of a parrot, he has 200 or 300 of them now, which is his latest endeavor. But Bruce is involved in many, many different things organic. Does a fascinating show on KTSA from 5 until 7 this afternoon. He will be heading off to the station to do that a little bit later. Let me give John a chance. John, what hours are you on? And brag about KLDJ a little bit.
Well, I'm on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday from 9 to 11 and Sundays from 8 to 10. And although they're a radical right-wing station, I'm the last liberal there.
Well, you're liberal in some respects and very conservative in others.
That's
when
true.
we talk about organic things. I always remember the words of Winston Churchill when he said, if you're not liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you do not become conservative as you grow older, you have no brains. Well, I think John's just so young at heart. He's partly liberal and partly conservative. Judy Barrett, how many years have you published Homegrown?
Going on 11.
Going on 11 years. If you don't pick this up at your favorite nursery, if you're not on the mailing list, I strongly encourage you to get there because she has a wealth of organic information in every issue. How she does it, I don't know. You know, we publish a 4-page newsletter once a month, and it's amazing how often once a month comes around. If you've read her publication, it's a heck of a lot more than 4 pages, and it's filled with a wonderful, just a world of information. Do you want to tell people how they can get on the mailing list or how they can best receive your publication if they like?
Well, several nurseries in town have homegrowns that you can pick up, including yours and Malcolm. And it's available by subscription. It's available out at our booth in the Ladybug booth. And you can go online and get information there.
And it's great. If you haven't read it, be sure and pick up a copy before you leave.
What's it called? Homegrown.
Homegrown. You're just in time, Stuart. This is your chair up here. We introduced you as the late Stuart Franke, but I'm glad to see that you're among us.
I got caught in a wonderful wreck.
Yeah, I was just saying exactly that.
We thought you went out for burgers for all of us.
Yeah. Malcolm Beck, I don't think needs any introduction at all. Malcolm and Delphine founded Gardenville, or their organic farm that later grew into Gardenville over 50 years ago, which is amazing considering that he's only 45 years old now. But you know, I don't think there is a person here who hasn't learned from Malcolm, and we just all thank him so much for the inspiration that he's provided. It probably goes for most of y'all in the audience as well, and we just so greatly appreciate the leadership and the knowledge and just the enthusiasm to explore all these issues that Malcolm has given us over the years. I'm sure you're familiar with his books. If not, you just moved to San Antonio or to South Texas. So do they have your books out in the Gardenville booth out there? Very good. And Mr. Stuart Franke, Medina Agriculture, you know, what can we say about them? They've been producing organic and natural products. We can talk about the difference if you want to, but I don't think it's real significant. But one of the things I love about Medina, and I have to talk a little bit about Stuart, you know, you all know Stuart as the man who makes the Grow and Breed fertilizer, the man who makes Medina Plus, the man who has made the soil activator for many, many years. What you probably don't know about this man is that he has been involved worldwide in bioremediation efforts. His work probably on every continent now, in cleaning up everything from huge toxic chemical spills in China, to working on things like massive oil spills, to working in old Russia, actually taking what was considered a very bad toxic material and turning it into fertilizer and increasing food production over there. We could have Stuart talk all afternoon about the many contributions that he and his company have made worldwide. I will tell you right now, they've been involved for several years in research on one of the most promising cancer-fighting drugs that's ever come along. So when you buy a Medina product, you're not only buying a good quality product, you're supporting a company that does an awful lot to support a lot of other things in this world. So, and if you don't know me, I'm Bob Webster, co-owner of Shades of Green, do some things on KTSA. That's all you need to know about me. Been doing it for a few years. But I'd like to start and take just a couple of minutes.
Okay. Do I need a mic? Can everybody hear me, or are we okay? Okay, thank you. Well, I'm glad to be back. So what's happened this last year? There's been tremendous growth in organics, for sure. We've seen this all over the place, organic farms. The family farmer is still coming back. They've been coming back for a few years. And they are strong. The farmers markets are strong. They're doing a very good job. If there's a farmers market near you, go look at it and go shop there, really. And you'll find that the best produce you're going to buy anywhere, besides your backyard first, then the farmers market. Well, speaking of backyards, this is, in my many years,